A jack of all trades is a master of none. For years this quote hung over me, lingering like a storm cloud, waiting to wash away any sense of accomplishment that I felt for achieving any sort of long-sought feat. I've often found myself bouncing around between interests, picking up new hobbies or activities, diving into them with vigor and intensity, only to find that months down the road that those interests had waned, and I was on to the next project. I've dabbled in many things in my life, and it sort of weighs heavily, feeling directionless and unfocused. We're often asked what we want to be when we grow up, a question designed to instill the notion of purpose. My problem was that what I wanted to be kept changing. Never really felt that I didn't have any idea. It's just could never really pinpoint one thing. Set out with the beginning stages of a plan, start walking down the path, but all of a sudden find myself going down these many detours and side roads. My earliest recollection of what I wanted to be when I grew up was a baseball player. I played baseball consistently from when I was 4 until my senior year in high school. Now, I was never an all-star athlete, and I wasn't even close to the upper echelon of talent in my town, but I competed off of sheer drive and love for the game, and I'll take that any day of the week. Quickly learned my limitations when I was about 10 years old, that I wasn't that kind of caliber of player. I continued to play because I liked it, but the dream of being a MLB player sort of died early, and I'm fine with that. Love the game for what it is. Then my interest shifted, completely different direction. I decided I wanted to be a forensic scientist. My mother and I had a shared interest in watching the show CSI, and I found that whole field fascinating. So I dove into chemistry and tried to learn about all the different aspects of the forensic field. When I was in high school, I was really convinced that I was going to do it, that I was going to go to college, be a forensic scientist. So my senior year, I took AP chemistry, and I could not grasp the concept of that class. I just, for whatever reason, material never stuck. As interested as I was, I just couldn't grasp it. Wasn't clicking. But I did participate in the science fair at my school. Took first place in the school, went on to the Massachusetts State Science Fair, and took third. And that's a little tidbit that I don't get to tell a lot of people. But it is something that I'm sort of proud of because all the work that I did put into my interest in forensics, although my project didn't deal in forensics, it dealt in electrolysis. Completely different story for another time. But yeah, it was kind of nice with the feeling that my hard work diving into those fields sort of paid off. And also, Pat, if you're watching this, which you may be, I cleaned dirt. Science proved it. Suck it. Also, when I was in high school, I joined a band as a lead vocalist. I decided I wanted to sing in the band because I had experience singing in chorus when I was in elementary school and singing in drama club in middle school. Both interests I dabbled in but didn't pursue. Now, another caveat to that was I had gotten my first electric guitar when I was 12 years old. And from the time I was 12 to the time I joined the band, which is about a period of 4 years, I was teaching myself how to play, self-taught. It was either, play football or go take music lessons, and I chose football and decided to learn how to play guitar on my own. But I joined the band as a singer because I didn't feel that my guitar playing would be up to snuff with the others in the band. But as things went, I shifted from singing to playing guitar because I discovered I loved songwriting more than just writing lyrics. I like song structure and just writing riffs. That was always fun and interesting to me. I thought if I put all my focus and effort into this, I could make it as a musician and have a good career. While that band didn't achieve stardom as we had all envisioned, we all found our own varying musical success over the years. Different bands, various incarnations, and I still play and write music to this day because I love it. It's a passion. It's one of the consistent things that I have maintained over the years. Now, going into college was one of the first bits of uncertainty I had with what I wanted to do with my life. And then another shared interest between my mother and I sort of emerged. We both liked Law and Order. Didn't like the police procedural aspect of it, but I enjoyed the courtroom scenes. So I decided I'm going to be a lawyer. So I chose to major in English, and I was going to either minor or double major in some sort of criminal justice field. But the more I looked into it, the more I decided I didn't want to pursue this career, just for various reasons of it just didn't interest me as much as I thought it was going to. TV has a hell of an effect on you. Everything looks great on TV, but not so much in real life. For the careers that never got off the ground, we have video game designer, guitar luthier, guitar refinisher, laundromat operator, sports journalist, movie critic, unclaimed money finder. For the career paths that saw a modicum of success, we have real estate agent, real estate investor, reseller of thrifted goods, storage auction flipper, estate auction flipper. We also had actor and comedian, and finally moving on to the current focuses of my career aspirations: photographer, videographer, and writer. Now, I know there are plenty of people that have bounced around, thrown their hats into different rings to see what stuck, but I was pretty disheartened a couple of years ago. I didn't feel like my life was going in the direction that I wanted or planned for. Throughout 2019, I had trouble as a real estate agent converting leads into clients, and the clients that I did have weren't making any moves. Meanwhile, I was performing as a comedian, getting a few paid gigs here and there, but I was failing to make it on comedy festivals and could not secure bigger and more well-paying shows. And as an actor, I had even fewer paying gigs. Most of it was for experience and exposure with student films. I was putting in auditions and tapes left and right, but wasn't landing very many roles. Not to mention that the movie that I had filmed, that I had discussed previously, wasn't getting any traction. I felt lost. Then the pandemic hit, and the world as we knew it came to a halt. Comedy shows stopped, film productions halted, and real estate was just thrown for a loop. And I was just resigned to riding it out at that point. But as quickly as that event hit, opportunity arose. You see, back in June of 2019, I decided I was going to educate myself on real estate photography. There were times where a couple of agents in my office wouldn't be able to go out to a property and asked me if I could go out and take some photos for them. I did, and I rather enjoyed the process. Now, I enjoy just viewing homes. It's one of the perks of being an agent. You get to see various types of homes, ages, sizes, designs. It's fascinating. After shooting a couple of homes, I fell in love with it. So I did what I always do, and I dove headfirst into the YouTube Academy for real estate photography. Now, I had taken a couple of classes as well in high school where I just learned basic camera functions and, technique. I mean, I taught myself how to play guitar. I could teach myself how to do this. Plus, I already had the equipment for shooting the film, and I also had the benefit of having an established network. I knew a lot of agents in the area. I could network, reach out, and see if anybody wanted to work with me. And with that, over the last couple of years, I was able to launch my photography business. In the realm of real estate, I have the benefit of being an agent. I know what sellers need to sell their homes. I know what buyers are looking for when they're looking for homes, and I understand what an agent needs to do to sell a home. So getting marketable listing photos kind of translated naturally. Having filmed a narrative movie, I took all the techniques that I learned with camera movement, color correction, video editing, storytelling techniques, and have been able to put that into practice for real estate video tours. I mean, telling the story of a house is a little bit different than a narrative story structure, but it's still the same thing. You got to guide people from beginning to end and keep them interested throughout. Besides real estate, I also had connections in the performing arts. So there were many people that needed headshots. So I dove in and learned headshot photography. Work even spilled over into product photography for people because when I was doing reselling for thrifted items and estate auctions and all that other stuff, I had to take decent listing photos. I was doing it with my phone at the time, but doing it with the camera, learning proper lighting for products, it translated very well. It's gone as far as even helping shoot a couple of music videos. And on top of that, I'm branching out to helping craft more creative marketing content for other people as well. I began this video with the phrase, "A jack of all trades is a master of none." I only learned last year that is the shortened version of a longer couplet. The full phrase goes, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." I was floored when I learned that. The years that I spent unfairly denigrating myself for thinking that I was a failure, for not having picked one career path and moving forward with it, like so many other people that I admire do. There's a lot of people out there that take all their energy, their time, they put it into one thing. They focus on something and they become an expert in it. I can't do that for whatever reason. We're all built differently, we all learn differently, we all experience life differently, and I get that. But it's hard to feel like you're lagging behind when you're seeing the success of so many others who have all the things that they want and all the successes that they're getting to enjoy because they're focusing on that. After learning the second half of that phrase, puts a whole new context into my approach of things. I have done a lot of things, and it's been misguided for me to think that I can pick one thing and go forward. Everything that I've done so far has been to my benefit. It just took a long time to put it all together. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, because everything I've done so far has helped me grow as is. I want to thank you all for tuning in. The response to the last couple of videos has been wonderful. I want to thank everybody for the kind words that they've left on videos or have messaged me or on the Facebook post, for the sharing of the videos. But the next couple of videos over February, I do have some creative content that I have planned. I've got a couple of songs I want to release and a short film that I've been working on this last month that I'm very proud of. I'm just proud to get it done. So, but once again, thank you for tuning in. From my heart to yours, with much love. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.